The Boston Sauce Show.
Boston and Sauce Show.
Boston Sauce Show.
Boston and Sauce Show. Here we go.
What up? What up? What up, though? Hey, let's just get right to it today. It's nothing, my fellas. We all woke and we up this morning. How y'all feeling?
Feeling good, man. Like I say every Saturday, man, feels like Christmas morning. We only got a couple of weeks left until regular season ends, so we got to take advantage of these Saturdays while we can, man.
Yeah, I agree. But I got my East Coast time clock working. I was on the West Coast last week. I didn't get to share a lot of plays with you guys, unfortunately, because I was deep in the horses and a few college plays that I was able to get to the window with. A ton of winners I didn't play, a couple of losers I didn't play either. But anyways, big card today, a lot of big games, high drama in college football today. So let's get down to it.
Exactly. Big shout out to our chat that they was here before us. Some of them. Shout out to Red Girl, Daryl Turner's in the house. Our guy 1833 from NC is always here with us, and we appreciate you. Much love, my guy. And Nate Dogg 420 is in the house. So there's not much to say about it at this point. If you've been betting college football to this point in time, you know what you know. You saw what you saw. It's time to react. These teams are in different situations. We're coming down to the last few games of the season. You know what it is if you watch ESPN and all that jogger and who's what and where they're going and blah, 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 blah. But we don't got time for that today. We're going straight into the picks, man. It's time to make money. If you're behind, then you need to catch up. And if you're already up, then you need more. Let's go. First game on the dock today. Big game. Big game. Michigan at Penn State. Michigan is a -4 favorite. Over and under is 44. This was setting off early. Now, I always say each year, in the Big Ten, it's just a matter of time till these guys play each other and knock each other off. You could be on either side of this one. Honestly, myself, if I had to make a play on this one, I'm going to take Penn State. I mean, I'm waiting for the Nittany Lions to have their day. They've been the little engine that could for so long. And this Michigan team got a little controversy going on. I don't think Harbaugh's ever going to get a national championship. Maybe he'll get in the playoffs, but, he does the same thing every year. So I would take Penn State with the 4 points at the house. But let's run it down the line. Wine time, you on this one right here?
You're muted.
Hey, Wine.
My bad. I'm on this one. I'm not on the side. Although I do lean towards Penn State. Like you said, I think Penn State's they're due for a big win. This coach has been there for quite some time. He doesn't have many top 10 or top 5 wins. This is a good chance for him going against most likely could be the number 1 team in the country by the end of the year. We'll see. I believe they're 2 or 3 right now. With all the controversy going on, though, we don't really know what's going to happen. I know we knew Harbaugh wasn't going to coach before the game. I just got a notification from ESPN confirming he will not be coaching today, which is pretty big time for the nifty Lions, honestly. They could really get one by here. That being said, I am on the total in this one. I got in on the under 45. I expect a really low-scoring Big Ten kind of game, running the ball, defensive kind of game. Penn State's got a really good defense. If they're going to be able to stop that running back Blake Corum, I think they're going to be able to keep this total under. And I think they could potentially win this game outright, honestly. It's going to be a good one. I'm really looking forward to watching it. I'm going to be rooting for kind of more of a boring kind of game. But, so lock me in for the under 45.
Yeah, nice right there. My man Brody in the chat. Check this one out, Big Ergo. He says, have not seen one person on Michigan, not one in the whole betting world is on Penn State. Michigan, for me, -4.5. What you got to say about this, Big Ergo?
That line, with all the news, they didn't find out until they were in a travel spot, like either on the plane or going to the hotel that, this was deliberate what the Big Ten had done, with the information that it had come down from the NCAA to impose this penalty or the suspension. Second suspension of the year, mind you. A little early in the year, they had 3 games. cupcake games now. It's a little different scenario. I know the team usually rallies behind maybe this could be the look that helped Penn State out a little bit, but I think it's the other way around. I really do. I think this team is galvanized. It's like us against the world type scenario. The line has moved up. I've seen some 5.5 now in spots, which is crazy. The line's moving pretty quick, so I guess the public's buying in, or I don't know if it's sharps or what. I haven't analyzed that part of it yet. But my look initially was just like wine time. Early on in the week, I played this on a Wednesday. I thought this was a solid under here, even with the news, whichever way it was going to fold, one way or the other. But, Penn State's defense, allowing under 2 yards of carry, and they're going to have to run through that defense, with Corum. The X factor for me is not so much a large quarterback for Penn State, but it's going to be McCarthy. They're going to have to force McCarthy to put the ball down the field. And Michigan's defense is also pretty tough on the run too. So it's going to be a trench battle game. I think points are going to come at a premium, and especially with the scenario that's going on with Harbaugh here. The players are not going to let the game slip away per se. They're not going to do nothing too crazy. I think this is going to be in the trenches, and I'm on the under too. But it's wild how the line's kind of flying right now on the Michigan side. So if you're Penn State, you're back in Penn State. You probably get a good number right here.
Yeah. I agree with you guys on that total too. I mean, classic Big Ten play. Only thing we probably missing is a little bit of snow. But yeah, I like that under. Now, well, let's keep it rolling though. We got a lot of plays on the card today. Arizona at Colorado. This one goes off 11 a.m. Arizona is -10 in this one, and the over/under is 54.5 in this one. Now, this is one that I jumped on right here. Both teams in this one, I believe, will score. Colorado defense, I mean, you could just slide right through that. Arizona, they have a balanced offense, a lot of weapons. They've been kind of, under the radar, shall we say, all season. And a 54.5 for this team. We've seen Colorado try to score 30 points in second half and all types of low scoring first half, high scoring second half. This game right here, I think, just shows opportunity for both teams to get a chance to get in the end zone and score. So I'm on the over 54.5 on this one off top. Anybody else jumping on this game? I know people getting sick and tired of Colorado and the media and all that kind of stuff. They are at home. To me, a lot of people say I might be wrong. I'm not discrediting Deion Sanders' coaching ability at all. But his niche right now in coaching is motivation, and motivation can only work for so long. It's a long season. I could fire you up a whole bunch of times, but you can only fire them up so long. So I don't know. I think we had the downhill slope of Colorado right here, but I do expect to see points. I expect that, that's what they do. They're athletic. It's an athletic team built around fast pace to score points. And Arizona has a great defense. Colorado's proved their way to go with anybody's defense. And it's just going to be one of those games where the teams just follow suit and we get over the threshold right there. Anybody else on this one? I doubt it, but anybody else on this one?
Yeah, I'm actually I got a little something in this one. I took the Arizona money line. I took them in a parlay, though. I took them with South Carolina money line. I took them with UCLA money line. I believe I got -135. Just took it for a little something. I always give out a high favorite money line parlay on here. Interesting game, though. When was the last time we saw Arizona -10? I don't remember, honestly. It's pretty wild to think. They've had some really impressive wins over top 20 teams the last couple weeks. Watched that whole UCLA-Arizona game last week, and it wasn't even close. Arizona blew them out of the water. UCLA had they just couldn't get anything going on offense. The defense was giving up because the offense wasn't getting anything going. So they were allowing points. This kid Fafita out of Servite High School, I feel like I've been talking about him the last couple of weeks. This kid's good. He has a really bright future ahead of him with that Arizona team. I think they're only building something bigger over there. And I think Arizona, I think they win this game. The line is a little weird, I thought that too. I was like, wait, Arizona's only a -10 against Colorado. UCLA was a -17. Arizona just blew UCLA out. But then I thought, I was like, well, when was the last time we even saw Arizona as a -10? I definitely lean on the Arizona spread side. But I did take the money line in a parlay. But yeah, other than that, nothing else.
Nice. Big Ragu, you coming out west for this one?
Just a little comment on this one. When we got to go back a few games ago with Colorado when they had that big lead at home against Stanford, they blew it. Ever since that point in time, they haven't put anything together offensively, this team. I bet them last week in Vegas over a team total of 23, and they got to 19. They quite didn't get there against Oregon State, who won a big game the prior week. But, three L's in a row, which, that's no big deal because they've hit their team total win season total over already. So we knew it was going to get a little tougher outside the beginning of the season for this team. But Arizona, man, they played a shit ton of games to the under. I mean, they played all their games to the under except for one. And Colorado is kind of like 5-4 to the over. So I'm on the fence with this one. I didn't get to the window, but, I worry for Colorado's offensive struggles right now because, like I say, 19 against UCLA and 19 against Oregon State. Or Arizona's defense is pretty decent. So we'll see what happens. I'm off.
There we go. Let's keep the show rolling. Next up. Oh, this is out there in Big Ragu land right here. This is a big game right here today. Miami at Florida State. I mean, Miami showed some real courage early in the season. Then they showed some flat out same stuff as they had. I'm already not a big fan of the coach over there. Florida State's been tough. They've been covering spreads. They've been doing what they had to do to get the stuff done. And now Travis Hunter, he's in the Heisman hunt. He looks like the best candidate to me, if you ask me. But FSU, Miami today, I'm off. Keep me on the West Coast for this one. I'm off. You got anything, wine time?
I'm going to pass this one off to Big Ragu.
Yeah, I wish I had more of a solid look for you guys to put on this one. But I do know that Coleman's coming back today along with Wilson. They sat in the Pittsburgh game. I stood pat on that game because I kind of knew offensively. So Florida State's one of these teams that sometimes they can start off slow or they can come out of the gates real hot, depending on who the opponent was. And I knew last week that it would be a game where they would kind of sit a little low, kind of get healthy for this game because they sat both of those guys out. But they're ready to roll today. Fresh on their minds with Miami, 45-3 last year. Drubbing of Miami down in South Florida this year. Shout out to Red Girl down in South Florida, by the way. But anyways, this game's – and Van Dyke's play right now for the QB for Miami. Like he's got I think 10 turnovers in the last 4 games. And anytime Miami's lost, they're sitting at 6-3. They've turned the ball 4 times over each one of those games. So they're not a bad football team. They're very inconsistent. They're going to look to maybe get a little solid quarterback play. I think FSU, can win this game. At home at the Doak, they should win. I would believe. They do a lot of the right things. Their defense has been lights out, guys. I mean, they're like a top 5 defense. We always talk about the Big Ten, but Florida State's defense is pretty solid. Even in these games where they haven't scored a ton of points early, it's been a game where their defense is held up. And usually they make great second half adjustments this year. They've been doing well with that. So if Florida State starts out a little slow here, look to maybe hit them up in the second half, whatever that number could be possibly. But I would lean Miami in the first half though. I would just to kind of keep it close and then get and play live Florida State second half if it goes that way. If Florida State gets out of the gates early, then you lose your first half bet. But I lean Miami here in the first half.
Big Ragu leaning Miami in the first half. Big shout out to my guy Jake Peasy. What up, though, Jake Peasy on the West Coast? My West Coast brothers, man. It's like all of us are so busy lately. But we got to get together. We did make it down to – I didn't make it down, but they did make it down for the Who-Bangin the Breeders' Cup. My man G, they had a blast. But we got to do something, fellas. Let's keep this show going to the next play. Tennessee, Missouri. Tennessee minus 2.5 in this one. The over-under is 58.5. Didn't take me a long time to cap this game. I really like Heupel. Drinkovich is great, but I like Heupel. He's been building this up to what it is now. And Missouri really hasn't played nobody great. And the ones that they did play great, they flat out lost. So I'm all the way in on Tennessee today. It did not take me a long time to take this one. I didn't understand the line +2.5 at Missouri. What is the books trying to tell me here? I'm not sure what it is right now, but this is what it was when I capped it. So I'm on Tennessee today. The offense is more powerful. Missouri has a great defense, and they can get the ball around a little bit too. So it should be pretty high scoring. But at the end of the day, Tennessee takes it home on a rare road game victory. This road game victory means a lot to this team right now. This is a great seller to the fans. This is a great seller to the players. This is a great seller to the coaching staff that we can go out here and take down teams that are marching up the charts on the road as Tennessee in this one. I'm on Tennessee. Anybody else jumping in this one?
I actually wanted to take Tennessee. The only thing that took me off it was that Tennessee blew these guys out last year. I think they scored like 65 points on them. And Mizzou has been playing teams tough this year. I think this is going to be a really good game. I don't have a play on this one. Like I said, I wanted to move on Tennessee. I just think there's a big revenge factor for Mizzou here. They're at home. Mizzou wants to win this game here, but I don't have a play in this one.
Anything for you, Big Dragoon?
I got a little lean here. Basically, with Missouri last week playing Georgia, that was one of the plays I got down in Nevada, which was a winner last week. I mean, that was a game where if they took Georgia down, they were looking at possibly, being the East champ. And then there's only one salvation here for Tennessee is to get to Georgia because they're the only team that could take Georgia out of the East. So basically, I'm not going to say it's going to be a look-ahead spot for them because Missouri is a very viable opponent here. So don't sleep on this Missouri team because they're very well coached. They got out-muscled, out-played a little bit in that Missouri. They took Georgia the first half 10-10, so I was kind of getting a little bit excited for that because I've made a small future playing them also, but that went down. But anyways, I would look Missouri here again first half. Maybe they got a little hangover off of that game, that second half beat down to Georgia, but I think Tennessee wins the game, but maybe Missouri plays tough with them in the first half here. But it just depends on, what mindset they're in. So that's just a lean, not a play.
There it is there, man. Shout out to the chat. Rod C, first time I see you here. Make sure you subscribe, buddy, and hit that little bell.
Rod Zawacki, yeah, great guy, man.
Yeah,
we got stuff coming all the time. And big shout out to my man, Talk Sports with JT, who gave it up on Twitter for the Who-Bangin gear that he got out there at the Breeders' Cup. And big shout out to the Gas Report joining us. He says, does anybody have any college props for him? I don't know. I don't really do college props like that. I mean, it's sometimes a little difficult to weigh too much into an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old. You never know what happens. But I know I don't have anything. You guys, nobody has anything on that, do they?
Props.
No, nothing on no props.
Maybe look at one of the bigger quarterbacks for yardage or something like that.
We getting there. Maybe next year we'll have a college prize pick show or something.
Props are tough in college.
Something like that. But props are tough, man. These kids. You don't know. It's in what they eat, what they listen to. They're so timid on everything when it comes to young college athletes. Next game right here, Oklahoma State, Central Florida, right in my man Big Ragu's backyard over here. Oklahoma State, they've been playing Dr. Jekyll and Hyde all year, I don't know what to call them. Do they have a true identity? In the past, they've always been fast-paced, good defense, and can play good in big games. This year, you can't count on them in spots where you thought you could count on them. So I haven't played a lot of Oklahoma State, but I've been keeping my eye on them. So I'm treacherous and scared to even have anything to do with this. UCF, new to the Big 12 right here. Those teams that are new to the Big 12, they've been it's been rough for them, but, a couple of them had a couple spots and got a couple wins. Not as the trajectory that I thought where, teams not used to these teams and having to play them. And, like we seen with Coastal Carolina when they first came over, right? They had a small advantage because a lot of people didn't know or wasn't used to them. But in the case of BYU, UCF, and all those over there in the Big 12, I don't know. Some of them blended right in. Some of them, was a surprise. But I don't know. You capping this one today, Wine Time?
Yeah, I do have a play on this one, guys. I am on the University of Central Florida +2.5. My bad. I actually bought up to the +3. I'm sorry. I bought up to the +3 for -20. I wanted to get 3. I didn't want the 2.5 just in case of a push. I think UCF wins this game outright, though. They played Oklahoma a couple weeks ago in a game that they very well should have won. in Oklahoma. They've been playing some good ball these last couple weeks, hanging tight in there. They've been running the ball really good. Their quarterback kind of does what he has to, doesn't make too many mistakes. Oklahoma State, on the other hand, has been coming in. They've been coming in hot. I believe they lost the first 2 games of the season. They've just been going off on a tear now. Beat Oklahoma last week. I think this is going to be kind of a letdown spot for them, a letdown kind of game. With that being said, I moved on the UCF +3 -120. I just think that they can win this game outright. If not, they're going to cover the spread easily. So, yeah, UCF +3 -120 for me.
Hey, you took the words right out of my mouth, baby. I love it. I love it. Great breakdown on that one time for sure. Yeah, this is a trouble spot for Oklahoma State. We've seen them zig and zag. You know, every time I've bet Oklahoma State throughout my gambling career, especially like the last 5 years, more so with Gundy, it just seems that they have that big game, and then they have the letdown right after it. They have the big game, or they are who we thought they were. You know that old saying with Danny Green. But sometimes it happens. But I tell you what, they do have. They got this running back Ollie Gordon who's lighting it up, the leading rusher in the nation. And 4 running backs over the years from Oklahoma State, that's been their game. They had some pretty good quarterbacks over the years, up and down, but they're built to run the football. And UCF is one of the worst teams in college football, stopping the run. So you think that would set up well for Oklahoma State, right? So why only 2.5-point favorite?
Yeah,
that's a trap game for them guys. It's a trap game. And John Rice Plumlee, even though Oklahoma have the numbers that show it on paper to run the ball, this kid here, he's a dual threat quarterback. His numbers are not spectacular in the passing game, but he does what he needs to do to get the ball down the field and take off with his legs. He's way better at home than he is on the road in his passing efficiency. So he's the type of quarterback that, just when you think you got him figured out on the run or the option, he'll burn you. So, and UCF has got, plenty of weapons downfield when they need to have them. So it's going to be a tight game. It's not going to be easy. Welcome to the bounce house. Get used to seeing this series go back and forth over the years. Even though UCF is 1-5 in Big 12 play, this is a game. They're probably one of the best scheming coaches in college football. Malzahn, he's beat the big guys over the years. It'll take a little adjustment period for him to get into the Big 12 a year or two, but he'll get things figured out. And today's where it starts for them. So this is a big game for them. This is probably their biggest game of the year at home. So look for UCF to win the game outright. I'm going to be on them. Plus the points, 2.5, not 3, and sprinkle on the money line.
Let's go.
Yes. Unrehearsed, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. Unrehearsed. We don't rehearse this. We just come out and do it.
Let's go.
Next up, we'll come to the West right here. Utah at Washington. Same thing in the Pac-12 been going on, but happening in the Big Ten, where these teams get in these positions and they get to knocking each other off right and left, and no one ends up going to the playoffs because you can't lose twice and yada yada yada. Now in this game right here, I see a lot of value in taking Utah +8.5. Washington is great, but the defense at Utah is just something different. It's something different. It's different like Wyoming, San Diego State. When those defenses are good, it's just something different to chew. It could change a whole coach's everything. So Kevin DeBoer over here in Washington doing a great job, and I support him 1,000%, but I do not support this 8.5. This game probably comes down to a field goal, and it's probably a little low scoring than we think it would be. And the books kind of show you that with the 49 because Washington been averaging over 30 points a game themselves, and Utah has a struggling offense. So it should have been around 49. So they know what they talk about right there. But I don't get the 8.5. But I jumped off this game. I might play it, on a good day. Later in the day, I might play it. But, if I'm struggling for the day, I'm going to stick with what I got. But I do like Utah +8.5. I'm going to pass to my man Winetime because he got something to say about the Pac-12.
Yes, sir. This one, my bigger plays actually. I am on the under 50, -115 in this one. I expect I'm kind of the under king this weekend, guys. I'm on a lot of unders, but I expect a low scoring game here. We just saw Washington blow out USC. I was on USC in that one. They just had no answer for Michael Penix and those wide receivers. All those guys are NFL talents. That being said, this is going to be a different test for them playing Utah. If it was in Utah, I would definitely be on Utah. The spread would be a lot different. Still lean towards Utah. That's why I think the under's the play, because I think if Utah can hang in this, it's going to be a low-scoring game. They're going to be running the ball. They're not going to make too many mistakes on offense. They're going to be able to make the stops on 3rd and long on Michael Penix that USC couldn't really stop last weekend. We saw Michael Penix struggle a little bit the last couple of weeks prior to that USC game. Before that, I mean, this guy was the Heisman front runner. He's kind of fading out of that right now. There's not really a Heisman front runner. That being said, I'm on the under in this 150. Only thing I moved on. I might move on Utah before game time, but as of right now, I'm just on the under.
There we go. Nice play. Now, I know Big Ragu, he got a little something to say on this one.
Yeah, I like this Utah team, man. You know what I like about them? They're gritty. With all the quarterback issues they've had, they've always, risen up to occasion in big games. Yes, this game isn't in Salt Lake, so it's going to have a little different look, playing up in Washington. But in Washington, they're looking to get to Oregon at the end of the season. They're right there in that bubble. They're sitting ranked number 5, so they want to have a good game, obviously. But this Utah team is very well coached. They rise up, they play well. Will they beat Washington? I don't know. I don't think if this was in Utah, I would say, they might always have a chance with that crowd and playing in Salt Lake. This on the road, little tough spot here for Utah. I think they play real competitive. I really do. I kind of agree with Weinstein in a lower type scoring game. If you look at what Washington's done, they played in some higher type scoring games, but when they played like lesser opponents, I think they've kind of put the game in like shutdown mode, like when they played Arizona State, Michigan State early in the season. So those are scheme type games. But today, I think they're going to try to want to put a good product on the field. Try to win convincingly. To kind of put things in perspective to keep that national championship run in mind. And I think Utah will be up to it too. So I lean Utah plus the points here, and I think Utah's competitive. I think they can crack over 19 points. I got team total over 19. Utah. I think this game goes down to be it can still stay under, maybe like a 31-20 type game, something like that, or actually that puts it over 49.5. But it's going to be close either way. But I still like Utah to score a little few points here. I think they get double digits. They barely crack 20. It'll be close, but it'll be like 20, 21. Not quite 27. Somewhere in that 23, 21, 20-point range. So over 19 for me, Utah.
Yeah, this is going to be a good game. Like you said, too, just want to touch a little bit on Kyle Whittingham. Like I said, I've said this numerous times. He's the best coach in the Pac-12. It's the reason why he's been coaching there, I think, for 19, 20 years now. His players buy in. They want this. I mean, they're not out of the Pac-12 race at all by any means. They believe that they're still in it. They can win out. I'm kind of talking myself into Utah right now, honestly.
But I'm licking my chops too. I'm licking my chops too on here.
I can see Kyle Whittingham. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm excited to watch this one. I'm going to stay away as of right now. I just got the under, but just wanted to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, and another one about that one too, because when it comes down to the media hype, this whole time we've been offset about the Cam Rising. Now they played all the way to this point. No Cam Rising. So it's a media off play that Utah is not well built. And I kept saying after like the 4th, 5th week, I'm like, well, the backup guy is great because he's been taking them where they need to go. So let's get that Cam Rising stuff out of here. Maybe that's a little extra value we're getting in that 8.5 because of the media and Cam Rising. But let's keep the show going, man. Next up, Auburn and Arkansas. Now, this was one of my I don't know how I would explain it, but it was one of those ones I've seen and it kind of jumped at me. I looked a little bit further into it and I was like, let's go. So, we talked about Pittman earlier this year. He's one of the coaches that might be on the hot seat right here. He's playing at Auburn. This is like an equal match right here. You look at the numbers, they kind of balance out the same. But my motivation for taking Arkansas in this one is because according to what we said earlier in the season, there's a clause in Pittman's contract that says that, if he's under 500 when they fire him, that, you know, he doesn't get X, Y, and Z. Now, he got a chance to be 500, believe it or not, with the last few games that's left. Go count it up. So if you go look at it, and, you know, if he gets past Auburn today, I think he has I think I wrote it down right here. He has a big one that he'll have to get past eventually. I think it's Georgia or somebody, but he has a little cupcake game in between. He has this game, a cupcake game, and then a game he probably have to put his best product on the field. And that may, and it's not about saving his job at Arkansas, I don't believe. It's about where's he going to go. I think he's a quality coach. I think he got a bad deal. I think KJ Jefferson is just one of those players. He's really, really talented, but he plays sometimes, and then sometimes he kind of doesn't show up. But last week, you know, they got a big win. He showed up, and I think, you know, I think he's up there. He should be in senior somewhere up in there. I'm not sure. We can talk about KJ Jefferson for years now.
Yeah, he's senior.
But, he's got to go out with a bang. You know, he's looking for his next level in football. So, you know, all is probably way pumped up and gassed up, you know, enough. I mean, the coaches can't play the game, honestly. But the motivation, the organization, you know, they can put the team in position to win the game. And Sam Pittman today, Arkansas -2 on my card for sure, for sure. Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, I'll touch on this a little bit. I actually did want to move on Arkansas -2 in this one. Arkansas had a lot of hype in the beginning of the year. I believe that they were preseason ranked. Even a couple weeks going into the year, they kind of had a really tough schedule to start. They played Alabama, they played LSU, they played those guys pretty tough too. It's been a disappointment year for KJ Jefferson, to say the least, though. This is his senior year. I kind of thought he was an NFL prospect going into this year, just with his size and stuff. I know he hasn't really showed a lot of arm talent. Kind of reminds me of like a Cam Newton, but this is a big game for him. He's going to want to get this one. They're 3-6. They're still in line to potentially go to a bowl. So I do like Arkansas on this one. I didn't move on it, but if I had to play something, I would definitely play Arkansas.
Do you agree, Ragu?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is a game of disappointments, and I think somebody had kind of like jumped ahead of expectation a little bit with Hugh Freeze and Auburn. You know, I think their team total was set at 2.5, and I think they have like 5 wins. They're talking bowl eligible here already. You know, in his first season, and their offense is scoring points. I'm surprised how quick that he's kind of got the offense up and running down at Auburn. You know, being that he didn't recruit hardly any of the players, and you just attributes to him, and a little bit of a disappointment. You know, Arkansas caught the 6 L's like Wine was saying about the tough, you know, right in the middle part of the season, all those tough teams they played up against. So things didn't fall in place for Arkansas. But now they're looking at the last 3 games. Like you said, they're playing. They play Auburn today. They got FIU at home, and they got Missouri at home. So 3 home games. You know, if they win 2 of these 3, maybe Hartman saves his job, possibly, you know, but he was on the hot seat, like you said, a little early on. But I don't know. Just this is a spot I'm going to be off here. I think we'll see points here. I might lean to the over a little bit here because they did put up a pretty good number last week when who'd they play last week? Arkansas. They beat. Let's see who they beat. They beat the Gators at Florida. Wow,
Florida,
49-36. So maybe something clicked on the offensive side for them in that game. Florida's one of them up and down teams too. But anyways, yeah, I would lean to the over here.
There we go there, man. Let's keep it going. A few more plays to go. Cincinnati at Houston. Cincinnati's is one of those teams that I say struggles right now in where they're at right now. And Houston, on the other hand, I see improvement every week. We all know last year, we talked about it earlier, Houston got a bad deal because the injuries put them in a bad position. This year, not so much. Well, not that many injuries all over the place. They're more in like the wide receiver area for Houston right now. But this is a chance for them to bring it home to TDECU Stadium, which has been getting a lot of popularity as well with the new build they have over there. I just feel it's a great night for Houston right here in this game right here. And Daniel Holzschuh, man, that guy's a great coach, man. And he's made, like I said, improvements all over the place. They will protect the house today. Cincinnati, on the other hand, is 3-6 ATS and currently on a 7-game losing streak. So I thought this line should have been a little bit higher than 3. That's basically saying it's an even game, -3 with Houston at home. So if that's the case, if that's where they feel it is, well, I feel that I'm taking Houston today 100%. It's on my card. Anybody else on this one right here? This was kind of an odd game, but anybody else on this one?
I could touch on it a little bit. I've been riding Houston the last couple of weeks, honestly. I've been talking a lot about this quarterback, Donovan Smith, out of Houston, man. He's been playing really good ball for them these last couple of weeks. I backed them, I believe it was 3 or 4 weeks ago when they were playing on a Thursday night. He threw a Hail Mary 50-yard touchdown bomb to win the game, to get the cover. After that, I kind of just fell in love with the guy, and I've been kind of backing Houston. They've been playing some really good ball. They barely – they got the cover for me. I gave them out last week on the show. It seems like the point spread's either been a -3 or a +3 the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's pretty crazy to think about. If I had to I wanted to take Houston. I just think Cincinnati might be due for a little something here. I've been watching the Cincinnati team too, though. They just have nothing on offense. That quarterback, that transfer, that's kind of been everywhere in college football. He can't really throw it. He can really just run it. And this is going to be this is a tough game to cap, honestly. If I had to take a side, it would be Houston just because of the Donovan Smith. I think he's playing really good ball right now. And like you said, the coach too. They're playing in Houston. The crowd should be going. It should be a nice crowd out there on a Saturday. I didn't end up playing this game though.
Yeah, some better football weather out there too. It's not as hot as normal, so might get a lot more out of the players with that too. You got anything on this one, Big Ragoon?
No, I'm off of this game totally.
There we go. Let's keep it going to the next one. Florida. LSU minus a huge 15. We just talked about Florida being up and down and up and down. The over and under is 67.5 with a 15. It's just kind of weird. I haven't bet LSU in a while. Brian Kelly is doing some wild, crazy stuff over there. He's up and down. Billy Napier's up and down. This game is just way out there for me. I couldn't. If I would take a play, I would take that fat 15 with Florida, but because Brian Kelly, I've seen him before. If he has a great lead at halftime, he throws the third string in. So the back door is always open with Brian Kelly. So if I have to make a play, I'll take it plus 15 with Florida. But you got something on this one, Wine?
I got nothing on this one, fellas.
Well, send it to the man of the hour right here, my man Big Ragoon. I know you got this one broken down. What you got for this one?
Yeah, this is a crazy game here, man. This series has been crazy over the years too. Here's the thing. So I made a play on this game early in the week, like Wednesday, because I get my college numbers on Tuesday. I bet the over 63.5. It's sitting at 67.5. It's flying, right? So right now I think we got LSU at 41.5 and Florida at 25.5 on the team totals. If you bet them individually, so some 24.5s for Florida. So what is Florida going to bring to the party? I'll tell you what LSU brings to the party. How about this? I told Jimmy this last night on the chat. LSU 9-0 to the over. LSU, the last 6 games of the season over last year. They are 16 out of 17 to the over, going back to October 15th last year. So I don't care who you put on the field with them. This game's going over. Now, will I still endorse it at 67.5? Well, if they get one more touchdown than they're supposed to get, I say definitely. But if they play like they did last week to Arkansas, they'll put it. But, I think LSU would still get closer to the 40-point range. That's a lot of points. But, Florida's Florida, and they have given LSU fits over the years. And that's a big, that 14 in the hook is pretty big too. So I would still lean Florida in this spot, even though they're spotty in the way they played. But I still endorse that over at 67.5. I think we keep the streak going. We go to 10-0 with the overs at LSU, and why look a gift horse in the mouth? I know the number's up there. And when you hear the next game too, it's going to be very similar if you bring that game up next. But not the same exact scenario, but these overs are a thing with certain teams in college football, and LSU is that team.
Nice. My man North Enders asked about the Virginia Tech or Texas Tech board, and Red Girl says she's on Virginia Tech. You better tell that, buddy. So let's go to the next game right here. Booyah, USC at Oregon. Probably big game in the Pac-12, but I don't know with the way that USC. And here we go with the media, the Caleb crying. Everybody's going to be expecting USC to respond. I don't really know when was the last time USC got a plus 16, but they're at Oregon, which is a tough place to play. And Oregon is firing on all cylinders on both sides of the ball. They are no joke, but obviously USC will score. Last week, I should have took the over in that game, but it's hard to take a over 70. I felt it was going to be 100 points scored last week in that USC game, but this week 76.5. I still kind of feel the over could be a play in this one. I'm not too proud to take SC plus the 16 because they just won't play defense. It's like a bad kid that just won't. I mean, I think they're size appropriate and I think they're athletic, but something is just totally wrong with the defense. But didn't they just fire the guy over there?
Yeah, they did.
They said they went ahead and fired the guy.
They fired him after the game.
Yeah, it was well deserved firing.
Yeah, I don't think Lincoln Riley like that though. That's his buddy, man. He brought him everywhere. He took out his ace boom coon. The offense ain't the same no more right there. But I'm off this game. Wine-Time, you got anything on this one?
Yeah, I've been talking about how Lincoln Riley brought that guy over from Oklahoma the last couple of years, and I remember watching him at Oklahoma, and I was like, the only reason they couldn't win it all was because of that defense. When they had Baker Mayfield, when they had Jalen Hurts, they couldn't stop anyone. And when you look at this USC defense, it's the exact same thing, and they've got so many talented players, but it just looks like they're never in the right spot. Sometimes it looks like there's only 9 or 10 guys on the field because there's just so many holes out there for the offense. It's tough though, guys. I've been watching this Oregon team really closely these last couple weeks, and they look like the best team in the nation the last couple weeks. The way they've been scoring on offense, if they don't turn the ball over, they don't punt the ball. Like when they have the ball in their hands, they're either going to potentially maybe turn it over, or they're going to go down and score almost every single time. No one really has an answer for this Dan Lanning offense. It's his second year at Oregon, man, and he's been doing great things for him. He's got the old timer and Bo Nix at quarterback. He's got the most experience in college football. I get that. They've got weapons everywhere, though. They've got athletes everywhere. It's going to be tough for USC to stop these guys, but I just think 16 points is a little too much. I'm not going to the window on this one, guys, but I want to dabble a little bit on USC. I can't, though, just despite because I took them last week. And I think they still should have covered that game last week. It's just you just can't trust this USC team at all. Their defense is suspect. I know they've got a new D coordinator after they let the other guy go. So it's going to be interesting to see how the kids respond, to see if they want to play for this other guy a little more. I don't know. As of right now, though, guys, I'm off this game.
You got this one covered?
Yeah, this one sets up just like the last one I broke down for you guys, man. There's another Wednesday play for me that I got in on the over at 73.5. We're looking at 77.5 now, right? So, I mean, what do we do with that, guys? And my only concern is then again, we know who the better teams are offensively in both of those games. With LSU, now we're talking Oregon here. Normally we'd say, hey, USC all day, but that Oregon defense, it can be a little bit opportunistic when it wants to be. Like when you think you got things figured out. Certainly we know USC is going to score points, right? But just maybe Oregon turns shit up just a little bit more on the defensive side, which we know they're going to do that. So whatever's broken, USC is not going to be fixed within a week, regardless. So. And like you said, Lanning's offense they're rolling right now, this team, and their sights are obviously, the Pac-12 championship. And do they have a shot to get national? I doubt it with one loss. But regardless, be that as it may, this is a game that has circled for a while. They're going to be coming out ready to play here. And, this number's just falling off the chart. Do I endorse it at 76.5 or 77.5? I lean it now. The better part of the numbers kind of got away from me. So even if you look at a team total with Oregon, where they're going to score 47.5 points, so you need 7 touchdowns against this USC squad. So if they get they need 2 touchdowns every quarter basically to get to that number, to get the team total in essence. So I lean. Now that the numbers kind of got away, I lean it. The other game, I endorse it. And you think Pac-12, I would lean the higher number over the total. They might score 90 here. They might score 100, but I doubt it with the Oregon defense. I think we'll probably wind up in the mid 70s to low 80s here. So it's risky, but I lean to the over here now.
There you go. Before we go any further, my man's been waiting in the backstage. I gotta bring on our guy Ramon, our CS specialist here, and also here for some of the last plays as we keep the show going. This is the last play on our card before we get talking stuff off of the card, and because my man Ramon, he knows his Mountain West. It's a Mountain West one right here on the last one. Of course, this is one of my picks. Another one that kind of jumped right off of the board for me, seeing a minus 2.5 for San Jose State. I mean, I just can't see Fresno State, even though they're on the road against the San Jose State team. I think they're a little more explosive on offense than San Jose's defense can hold them. So I think Fresno State comes together today. It clicks. Fresno State plus the 2.5. Plus, I also think the over is live in this one as well because Cordero over there on San Jose State, he's going to do what he does, and he's going to run around and make points for his team. And the Fresno State offense is going to click. I don't think we're going to see much defense in this game with these two teams today unless it's some weird thing that I didn't calculate for. So I'm definitely on Fresno State plus 2.5 and the over 54.5 on this one. Anybody else got anything on this one before we jump into some other stuff?
I'm off
this one, guys.
Yeah,
Fresno for me, big boss. Fresno for me, big boss. I'll just leave it at that.
There we go. That's why Mountain West is where I do it the best because nobody else wants to do it at all.
But if it is Fresno, they are going to have to play a little bit of defense here. I would think if I'm going to take Fresno, I don't think I can take my big boss play of the under. So he's probably either.
I got the over.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I mean, though, big boss. I'm going to need Fresno to play some defense here. I would think, obviously, in this game. So if I'm going to take Fresno, I probably would not be endorsing the big boss play.
It's all good. Let's keep it rolling though into two of the games that we didn't touch on that are big games that are coming on today, and we probably didn't touch on them for a reason. But the first one is this one here, Mississippi at Georgia. Now I watch ESPN do the college game day 27 times the same way in a row over the same game. That doesn't make big sense that this game is that big of a game, but Mississippi is playing at a high rate right now. Georgia, we've been counting on somebody to beat them every week, and they're still the best in college football. So I'm totally off of the game. If I had to make a play on the game, I'm leaning towards Georgia because, it really got it going on over there. Kirby Smart's, what he's doing. I said it 2 years ago that, the proof will be in the pudding if he could put it together, and he did that. So I don't know what is the next accolade for Kirby Smart's, the back-to-back championship. I don't know. What do you guys feel about this game? Anybody on the other side of Georgia?
I didn't move on this one. I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of want to take a little something on Mississippi State plus 18. Didn't get to the window on it though. I just thought it was a lot of points. I'm not gonna move on this one though, guys.
Yeah. Nothing for you, Big Ragu. Anybody in the chat got anything on this? Put it up in the chat or something.
No, this game, no.
No, I'm with you, guys. I'm with you, big boy. I like
shit,
Georgia.
that's my bad.
I like Georgia to continue this role. Right, look, I love the coaching matchup, obviously, in this game. I mean, it might be my favorite coaching matchup of the season to a certain extent. But I think for me, look, I've already I'm on record giving out Georgia here, but I like the over also in this game. I'm going to take this opportunity on the Boston Sauce show to make another pick, and I think I'm going to go over in this one.
There we go. I like that. Now, the other one that we didn't touch on today that is also up there, maybe y'all got something on this, Alabama, Kentucky. I just see – the line is kind of high for Alabama on that one because we weren't able to trust Alabama early in the season. But I think Alabama got a sight on getting in the playoffs. I think they're locked and loaded. this Kentucky team is something they had a spark kind of early in the season, and I think that's over and done with as well. And I back Alabama. I just don't like the number in this one for the most part. But if I had to take a money line bet, they're definitely going on Alabama for sure to win this one.
Yeah, my bad, guys. On the last game, I said Mississippi State. I thought we were talking about a different game. I meant to say, I leaned Ole Miss in that one. Plus the 10.
We know what you meant.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, so in this game, guys, I think Alabama blows Kentucky out. I didn't make a move on this one. If I had to play a side, I think it is Alabama. You see them going on the road here in Kentucky. Line opened up at 10.5. It's all the way up to 11.5, or not all the way, but it's up to 11.5 right now. I think it just shows you that they're going to blow these guys out. I haven't been backing many of these Alabama games. I haven't been watching a lot of Alabama games. Alabama and Ohio State. I haven't really been paying much attention to those two teams, honestly, watching their games. So I'm off this one, but I definitely lean towards the Alabama side.
I lean the Bama way. Ever since that Texas game, Alabama's been kind of on a mission here, guys. So, and they've been in the bushes. They're waiting. So don't be surprised when the SEC championship comes around if they sneak in.
Yeah, I'm questioning the total motivation for blowout. So the only thing that I would remember if I was a Kentucky player or fan is that they lost by 60 points last year. So I'm going to go with Kentucky. There's got to be – I don't care how much the dominance is. That's going to be – I'm steamed. I want to cover this spread at least after a – what was it, 63-3 last year. So, go ahead. I would think right now, or not last year, last meeting anyway. So wasn't last year. I know that. I'm taking Kentucky in the points.
Like my man Big Ragu always say, for shits and giggles, I think the play might be, and y'all quote me on this one, some week that ain't been cashing in a while, which is Alabama first half. We missed those.
Well, that was a thing for a couple of years. The books caught on to that though, but now you might be sneaky good. Now might be sneaky. You can sneak one in there every now and then with Bama. So
I think today is the day. Alabama first half. We go to the throwback play of the day. Is going to be.
There you go. I like it.
Look, Milroe's been sharp. I don't know. Everybody said about going back to that benching of the Texas game. I think we've even said it before. I mean, he was not benched in that game. Something was up because he's obviously looked. Ever since then, whatever he was mediocre in those first games, it wasn't probably worth benching him, even though I got all hype here and I was like, oh, look at my man, taking over this week at quarterback. We know that didn't work out, but Milroe has been actually one of the strongest quarterbacks after everybody's making fun of him in Alabama is all back and it's all good right now. So, I'm gonna take Kentucky. I'm afraid, but I'm just trying to give a little synopsis on where this Alabama team stands. Certainly, right now.
You can attribute that to Saban coming from the school of Belichick.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Did anything break while I was doing a show this morning with Jim Harbaugh? I mean, he's got to have a pretty good lawyer, right? Couldn't I get some type of judge to give an injunction that I could get on that field, because it doesn't make much sense to me. I think the Big Ten is totally overstepping their bounds. If you're going to suspend this guy, you better suspend other coaches too. College football needs to get with the program, start using modern technology. I go to those high school games, guys, and these are like just the middle of the road average teams, and I've got coaches with headsets, calling in plays, with TVs, with pads on the sideline. And this is at the basic level of football. So college football needs to fix this, and they're going to lose one of their biggest names to the NFL next year because they want to play hardball with this guy. And college football, for if you like him or not, Harbaugh's a big name and keeping one of the biggest programs relevant right now. And you wonder where Michigan will be once Harbaugh leaves, quite frankly, because we remember how hard it was kind of to get back to where Bo had them over the years to a certain extent. So good luck with that, Big Ten. I think I'm not an apologist for Harbaugh, but I think that they're overstepping their bounds here a little bit. Trying to make something out of nothing. Although I thought it was kind of BS last week that Michigan kind of pulled something there on NBC and said, hey, what about our sign stealing? And they were talking about the big Go Big Blue sign, the one they jump and touch. And they're like, people are stealing our signs too. They're stealing the Go Big Blue banner. That was disingenuous and a joke. But nonetheless, that's my rant there. And when you were talking about Oregon there when I came in, man, tell you, Nix, why doesn't he get as much Heisman hype as some of these guys right now? It would seem like if he goes out and really tears it up, I'll give the endorsement for Wine Time and Ragu, Big Boss, SC and over. Oregon will probably have a 3-score lead, and even if SC is taking the rest of the season off, that's not going to stop Caleb from trying to rack up the numbers still and keep his name relevant. SC and over.
Big shout out to my man Razor Sharp in the chat. He giving y'all the goods, man. This guy, if you don't follow Razor Sharp on Twitter, you should go run there and do it now.
He's probably one of the hottest cappers on Twitter right now. Like, it's insane.
We'll give you a pass. You can leave this show, go to Twitter, or however you're going to get there, and make sure you follow our guy. He's giving up the goods right here on Who-Bangin because he loves us. He loves Who-Bangin too, so he's always over here with us. The guy's been hot. He's multiple sports, so forth and so on. But always one of the great cappers that you always not only love but you trust as well. But Ramon, we've been trusting you with this lower division football. You got any goods for us today?
Yeah, I missed you last week. I was late. You guys were done because you were coming from Mexico, and the show ended early. And I was going to come on there and brag that my pick sauce was up. Teams were up like 28, both of them 28-0 at halftime. But anyways, here we go, real quick. Get you out of here. Army -12 hosting Holy Cross. We're going to take Army, lay the points against Holy Cross today. These are ones that are about to go off top of the hour. The reason I give these out is because they actually don't even release the lines. They kind of come in waves a little bit as the day goes along. Also, Norfolk and Delaware over 54. I know everybody's been having fun with the Blue Hose this week after that basketball game, but we're going to go over 54, Norfolk and Delaware. Also, I'm giving 5 today. Morgan and South Carolina State under 40. That's Morgan, South Carolina State under 40. And, well, here's a parlay. Duquesne and under. Duquesne -16 against Stonehill. I was just going to go with Duquesne, but I saw some steam roll in here, and I was liking the under. Let's tail that steam. Give me Duquesne -16, under 57 against Stonehill. That's 5 plays I'm rolling this week. All right.
So I got you down for Army -12, Norfolk, Delaware over 54, Morgan versus South Carolina State under 40, Duquesne -16, and what was the other one?
Duquesne and Stonehill under 57. And don't
Duquesne and under 57.
Shout out to Comic Ricky in the chat, the rabbi.
Oh, yeah, man. Shout out to our guy, Comic Ricky, man. We miss you, my brother. Please come back to the circle. Original Who-Banger right there, Comic Rick, in case any of y'all ain't seen him and don't know who he is, but he's a great guy. So let's run back the plays for the day. I'll start with my man, Wine Time. We got you down officially on the show as much as I can pay attention, Wine Time. Michigan, Penn State over, UCF +3, Washington and Utah under in that one.
Oh, quick.
Any other plays?
Quick, DJ. Sorry, the Michigan Penn's under.
Ooh.
Oh, Mr. Penn under. My bad.
Yeah, he and I both.
You're good, brother. Yeah, guys, I want to touch on this 9 p.m. Eastern Standard game too. DJ always asks me about this team because he knows I follow them so closely. Got Arizona State coming to the Rose Bowl today. UCLA's laying 17.5 right now. I see 17 at some spots. I went ahead and I've been backing the under on these UCLA games last couple of weeks and just been cashing at a higher rate. On the other hand, though, it's a pretty low total today. I think it's low for a reason. I'm going to go ahead and stay off it, though. I just think this is pretty much if UCLA loses this game, Chip Kelly might get fired after the game. Well, not might, he will get fired. And I think that he's going to come out here and blow these guys out the water. I hope he does. At least it's at home. I went ahead and I took the team total over 30.5. I think they can score 38 in this one, honestly. I see like a 38-7 type of game in favor of UCLA. We'll see if they can get there, honestly. But yeah, you can lock me in on the UCLA team total over 30.5 minus 105. And yeah, that's it.
Man, what's the line on Chip Kelly getting fired after the game?
Dude, like if they lose, he's
they
out.
better roll them.
Yeah. I like Chip Kelly. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like the culture he's kind of brought there the last couple of years, kind of outside of football and stuff. I listened to a lot of the interviews and stuff with the players and stuff. I kind of like what he's building down there. The thing is, though, it just there's always those couple games where UCLA loses every year where they really shouldn't lose, and it ultimately takes them out of contention. I just don't know who else the UCLA would really go after this offseason. So, yeah.
They spent a lot of money buying out Jim Moore to have Chip Kelly, so I'm not sure if they're ready to give up on Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly initiated the NIL over there, and
he's bringing in a lot of talent. He's bringing a lot of talent from transfer.
I don't think he deserves to get fired.
I don't either.
I don't know if they tired of him. They tired.
Yeah.
Let's go with the Big Ragu. Big Ragu, I got you down today for. Is it Michigan Penn State under as well? I must be the wrong one again.
Yes.
Right. Michigan Penn State under, UCF +3, Florida LSU over 63.5, USC and Oregon over 73.5. You got anything else you want to add or let them know?
Yeah, well, I got to be fair. I got 67.5 now with that Florida game, and then the higher number on the USC game. But I got money line on UCF also. And I got the team total over on Utah 19. I'm going to throw a couple of quick ones that I was looking at that I didn't get to talk about on screen today. I'm going to go to your Mountain West. I'm going to be on the over on the Boise State game. And then I'm going to be over on the Appalachian State game also. And then I want you to look at this Boston College Virginia Tech game. Virginia Tech has become the favorite in that game. That's a market move on that one. So it's a small number. I think it's like 1.5, 2. I'm leaning Virginia Tech there too.
Okay. There it is right here. You heard it first. As for me today, Big Boss picks the Colorado-Arizona game over 54.5. Tennessee and Missouri. Tennessee -2.5. Auburn and Arkansas. Arkansas -2.5. Cincy and Houston. Houston -2.5. Fresno State and San Jose State. Fresno +2.5 and over 53.5 for me. Those are my plays. Only thing I might add is I might get to the window with that Utah +8.5. It's just too much value not to especially after chopping it up with you guys. So that's my picks for the day. And I have once again my man Ramon I got Army -12, Norfolk, Delaware over 54, Morgan and South Carolina State under 50. Duquesne -16 and under 57 in that game. Anything else you want to give them, Ramon?
No, just appreciate it, Big Boss. I will say this: you were talking about Oregon, and I saw Akili Smith Jr. last night, quarterback, and he was terrific. He's only a junior, but he's already committed to following his dad's footsteps at the University of Oregon. He led them on a brilliant drive at the end of the game to force the game into overtime. They ended up beating my school in overtime. Akili Smith Jr. will be all that. He might be just like his dad in college, man. He was terrific on the final drive. Watch out for Akili Smith Jr. in 2 years. He's just a junior, but he looked great last night. Just a little update.
That's what's up, man. Big shout out to our chat, man. I can't even list all of the people that stopped by and hung out with us, but I'll just list some of those that's still here. My man Don Player, my man Mills too. I don't never see my man Mills too, but I'm gonna give you your shine right here. We appreciate you coming in with us. And once again, we do this every Saturday. Our guy Nutflush Allen was here, and Comic Ricky was definitely in here. Yeah, Comic Ricky, and of course our guy Razor Brian Peck Wong. I haven't seen him in here before. I hope you like and subscribe as well too, buddy. And I hope you guys come back for some more as we're on here every Saturday at the same time. We've been doing a great job. I don't really have much more to say today. Let me see. Don Play says, tell me you on Fresno State, my guy, the Mountain West, where we're doing the best. Absolutely on Fresno State today. So that's it, man. Anything else you guys want to tell the people out there?
Just thanks for joining us. We appreciate the you guys popping in with us. Like DJ said, we'll be back next week. And then, once regular season's over, we'll hop into the bowl season too. So we're not going nowhere anytime soon. So come back every week and check us out. And appreciate, of course, Wine and, of course, our guy Ramon out in Las Wages.
I appreciate it. I was on with Damon earlier this week making some NFL picks too, so I appreciate all my appearances here on the Boston on the Who-Bangin Sports Network.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Also, appreciate you guys for having me as always, man. It's a blessing to be here. Cap these college football games with you guys every Saturday. We've been doing it every week. Just keep cashing these tickets, keep having a good time, man.
And also, man, we're working on the whole membership thing so we can start having some of you guys get some exclusive content and, get some other bells and whistles when you come hang out with us. We really appreciate it, man. We've been doing this for years, for money out of our pocket because we never get any money in our pocket. It's not about the money, just about sharing the love with all the other cappers in the world, man. We connected worldwide with some cappers. So it's all about that. The support helps us get more merch, help us get more tools, help us help some of our buddies out when they kind of down. So once the memberships are live, we appreciate if y'all come in and be a membership. With the membership, you're going to get free shipping on our merch, all kinds of bells and whistles, like I said. So I just had to say that small spiel for the day. Once again, we love all y'all. We thank y'all for showing up, and we are going to get out of here.